Four Apache brides stood together beneath the wide Arizona sky with nowhere to go and no one willing to help them. Their future seemed lost, and every door had closed. Then, just as hope was fading, a lone cowboy rode across the dusty frontier and made a choice that no one expected. His single act of compassion would challenge old beliefs, unite unlikely friends, and begin a journey that would change all 5 lives forever. Stay with us, because this unforgettable Western story is only just beginning. The first light of morning spread across the Arizona frontier, turning the red cliffs and wide desert into shades of gold. A cool breeze moved through the tall grass while birds welcomed the new day with gentle songs. The land looked peaceful, but for 4 Apache women, the morning carried uncertainty instead of hope. Ayanna, Nita, Kai, and Tala walked quietly along a dusty trail. Each carried a small bundle with only the things that mattered most. They had left behind the homes they once knew and now faced an unknown future together. None of them complained. Instead, they encouraged one another with quiet words and hopeful smiles. Ayanna was thoughtful and calm. She believed that every difficult season would one day come to an end. Nita had talented hands that could weave strong and beautiful baskets from desert plants. Kai understood the healing plants that grew across the frontier. She had learned from the elders how to care for people and animals using the gifts of nature. Tala loved horses. Even the most nervous animal seemed to trust her gentle voice. As the sun climbed higher, the women grew tired. They had very little food and only enough water for a short time. Even so, they refused to lose hope. Several miles away, Ethan Carter worked on a wooden fence outside his quiet ranch. He lived alone and spent most of his days caring for his horses and the land that had belonged to his family for many years. While lifting a fence post into place, Ethan noticed 4 figures walking slowly across the open valley. He shaded his eyes and watched them for a moment. Their clothes were dusty from travel, and their steps showed signs of exhaustion. Ethan knew that travelers rarely crossed this part of the frontier without a reason. He placed his tools on the ground and filled a large water container. Then he saddled his horse and rode toward the distant trail. The 4 women noticed the cowboy approaching and stopped walking. They exchanged careful glances, unsure of what to expect. As Ethan came closer, he removed his hat and greeted them with a warm smile. "Good morning," he said kindly. "You all look like you have traveled a long way. If you would allow me, I would be honored to offer you some fresh water." The 4 women looked at one another. For the first time that morning, a small spark of hope appeared in their eyes. For a moment, the 4 women remained silent. They had learned that trust was something earned with time, not given in a single meeting. Ethan waited patiently beside his horse, holding out the water container without taking another step. Ayanna was the first to speak. "Thank you for your kindness." She accepted the container and took a careful drink before passing it to Nita, Kai, and Tala. The cool water brought fresh energy after their long journey. Ethan noticed the tired expressions on their faces. "There is a small ranch not far from here," he said gently. "You are welcome to rest there. I have fresh bread, warm soup, and a place where you can sit in the shade." The 4 women exchanged quiet glances. Kai looked toward Ayanna. "What do you think?" Ayanna studied Ethan for a moment. His calm voice and respectful manner reminded her of something her father often said. "A kind heart is known by its actions." She nodded. "We will accept your invitation." The short ride to the ranch was peaceful. As they arrived, the women admired the wide pasture, the weathered wooden barn, and the horses grazing under tall cottonwood trees. The ranch was simple, but it was clean and well cared for. Ethan led them to a long wooden table beneath a large oak tree. He served warm vegetable soup, fresh bread, and cool water. "There is no hurry," he said with a smile. "Eat as much as you need." For the first time in many days, the 4 women enjoyed a meal without worrying about where the next one would come from. As the afternoon passed, they began sharing small parts of their stories. Ayanna spoke about the importance of family and community. Nita described how she had learned basket weaving from her grandmother. Kai shared her love of healing plants that grew across the desert. Tala smiled as she talked about caring for horses since childhood. Ethan listened carefully. He noticed that each woman carried not only memories but also valuable skills. As the sun moved lower in the sky, Ethan showed them 4 empty guest cabins near the barn. "They have not been used for some time," he said. "If you wish, you may stay here until you decide where your journey should lead." The women looked around in quiet surprise. No one had asked for anything in return. That evening, while Ethan finished feeding the horses, Tala noticed a young mare standing alone near the fence. The horse seemed nervous and refused to eat. Without hesitation, Tala walked slowly toward the mare, speaking in a soft, gentle voice. Within minutes, the frightened horse lowered its head and calmly accepted food from her hand. Ethan watched from across the yard. A quiet smile appeared on his face. For the first time in many years, the lonely ranch felt filled with warmth, and he sensed that this unexpected meeting was the beginning of something truly special. The days turned into weeks, and life at Ethan's ranch settled into a peaceful rhythm. Each morning began with the rising sun, the sound of singing birds, and the gentle movement of horses across the open pasture. The 4 women worked with care, not because they had been asked, but because they were grateful for the chance to begin again. Tala spent her days caring for the horses. Her calm voice and patient hands helped even the shyest animals feel safe. Before long, every horse on the ranch looked healthier and stronger. Kai gathered herbs from the nearby hills and prepared simple natural remedies that kept both people and animals feeling their best. Ethan admired how carefully she respected the land while taking only what was needed. Nita wove beautiful baskets from desert grasses and willow branches. Travelers passing through the area often stopped to admire her work, and many asked to take one home as a reminder of the frontier. Ayana organized the ranch with quiet confidence. She helped prepare meals, welcomed visitors with kindness, and made sure everyone felt at home. Little by little, the ranch became known as a place where every guest was treated with warmth and respect. One afternoon, a powerful summer storm swept across the valley. Strong winds shook the trees, and part of the wooden fence collapsed. Several horses wandered into the open field. Without hesitation, Ethan and the 4 women worked together. While Ethan repaired the damaged fence, Tala calmly guided the horses back to safety. Nita and Ayana gathered loose supplies before the wind carried them away, and Kai cared for a frightened young colt until the storm passed. As the clouds cleared and sunlight returned, Ethan looked across the ranch with a grateful smile. He realized that the ranch was no longer just a quiet place where he lived alone. It had become a home filled with friendship, purpose, and hope for everyone who shared it. As autumn arrived, news of the welcoming ranch spread across the Arizona frontier. One afternoon, several respected Apache elders visited to see the place for themselves. Ethan greeted them with respect and invited them to share a meal beneath the shade of the old cottonwood tree. The elders were pleased to see Ayana, Nita, Kai, and Tala living with confidence and purpose. They watched as the women worked together, cared for the horses, welcomed travelers, and shared their talents with kindness. During the meal, stories were exchanged about family, tradition, and the importance of helping others. The conversations were calm and honest, and everyone listened with respect. One elder smiled warmly. "It is good to see that hope has found a home here," he said. Ethan nodded. "This ranch has become stronger because everyone has shared their gifts." The visitors agreed that the future should be built on understanding rather than old misunderstandings. Before leaving, they invited Ethan and the 4 women to attend the next community gathering. As the elders rode away beneath the golden evening sky, everyone felt that a new chapter had begun. Trust had grown through simple acts of kindness, and friendships that once seemed impossible were now becoming part of everyday life. Several months later, Ethan's ranch had become a place where people from many backgrounds gathered with respect and friendship. Travelers stopped to rest, neighbors shared stories, and the sound of laughter often filled the peaceful valley. Ayana continued helping those in need with wisdom and kindness. Nita's beautiful baskets became well known throughout nearby towns. Kai taught young people about the healing plants of the desert, while Tala earned the trust of every horse that arrived at the ranch. During the annual community celebration, the Apache chief stood before the gathered families and thanked Ethan for opening his heart when 4 strangers needed help the most. "You gave them more than shelter," the chief said. "You gave them a chance to begin again." Ethan smiled humbly. "I only opened a gate," he replied. "They built the future with their own hard work and courage." As the sun slowly set behind the red cliffs, the 5 friends stood together overlooking the wide Arizona frontier. The journey that had begun with uncertainty had ended with hope, friendship, and a shared purpose. They understood that true strength is found in compassion, respect, and the willingness to help others without expecting anything in return. Sometimes, a single act of kindness can become the beginning of a brighter future for everyone. As the evening sun faded beyond the Arizona horizon, the ranch stood as a quiet reminder that hope can grow in the most unexpected places. Ethan's simple choice to welcome 4 strangers did more than offer them a safe place to rest. It created lasting friendships, brought people together, and proved that kindness has the power to change lives in ways we may never imagine. If you enjoyed this heartfelt Western story, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more original frontier stories filled with courage, compassion, adventure, and unforgettable moments. Turn on notifications so you never miss our next story. Comment below. If you had been in Ethan's place, would you have opened your home to strangers in need? We would love to hear your thoughts. Share this story with your friends and family to remind them that even one act of kindness can inspire hope and bring people together. Thank you for watching. We truly appreciate your support, and we look forward to sharing another unforgettable Wild West adventure with you soon.